Hey, what's going on everybody? 3DHP here. Today we're building a pit droid. I got some really cool files off of Etsy. Got them printed. We'll get into it right after this. Welcome back everybody. What do you think of that intro? My wife thinks it's old and outdated and you need to change it. What do you think? Leave me a comment down below. Do you like my intro or do you think I should do something different and refresh it? But anyway, on my Bambu Lab X1 Carbon and on my iPass printer, I got some files off of Etsy from Droid Division. They got a ton of really cool killer robots over there. And I printed a pit droid. We got a baby pit droid. His name is Buddy. They used to have a dog named Buddy that passed away, so we're going to name the pit droid Buddy. And I've got a ton of parts here. Now, when you get these parts, they're all cut up, or they're one piece, or they're in two pieces. You can print them on a small format printer, like an Ender 3 on the Bambu Labs, iPass. Pretty much whatever you got, you can print the parts. Now, on the dome here, I could have cut it in 4 sections to print it on the X1 Carbon. I didn't want to do it because then I got more seams to deal with. So I printed it on my iPass. Now, I could have, without this eyepiece, I could have printed the dome in one piece, but I didn't want a lot of support damage. So they had a version where it's cut in half, but it's like 3/4 seam right across here. So I went ahead and printed that on the iPass behind me, and then the eyepiece, of course, printed upside down, and that orientation on the Bambu Labs. And that I didn't need to glue in place. It kind of snaps in place. It's firm there. I don't need to glue it. And then I got a ton of parts, and I'll show you some pictures here on the screen where I got everything primered. Then I decided to go with yellow. Yellow looks pretty good, and I haven't done any other colors in yellow. And I'm printing all this with my Ziltech filament right here. I'm an affiliate for Ziltech in Texas, and I get a good discount on their filament. And they were nice enough to donate 2 of the 5 rolls to me. Now, typically with this droid, it takes 3 to 4 rolls. But I wasted almost a whole roll of filament on the X1 Carbon because I was in standard mode. My print temps were 220, and I don't know. I ended up tightening up the belts in the printer, cleaning the rails, going through all the maintenance stuff you have to do. And then I had a good part, and then I had a fail. Then I had a good part, and I had a couple fails. And as an example, this part right here, which I could have printed this in one piece on the iPass, but I chose to print it in 2 because I was trying to confine all of the video footage to be from the X1 Carbon. And one part kept failing. I think it was this top half right here. From here up, it failed and it failed and it failed like 4 times on the X1 Carbon. Finally, I cranked up the temperature to 225 and then it printed fine. So I just think it was the filament's fault because I printed, a lot of things I printed on the X1 Carbon, I've used Polymaker over Ziltech, and then I don't have a failure, where a lot of times I may have a failure with Ziltech. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But when a printer's running faster, then you have to increase your temperature. And I think that was just a temperature problem I was having. But I've got a whole box of parts here. I'm going to show you here real quick. I'll try to load up if I can figure out how to do it in DaVinci Resolve. All the cameras at once on one screen. That way you don't sit there forever listening to music, watching all the time lapses one after another. I'll try to do them all once if I can get that figured out. And then I printed out this little wrench here. I got it primed gray. And I forget what this is called. I didn't research it and write it down so I can get the name right. But the little pit droid can hold that. So we're going to get him built, get that all assembled. And then a friend of mine here in Las Vegas has done a lot of droids. His name is Jason. A lot of people know him as Jason, the tech guy. He told me of a place over on Etsy, a company that sells all the parts, nuts, and bolts. Now, I thought about sourcing everything on Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, and buying everything to build this droid, but I don't plan on doing a lot of droids because I do a lot of different types of things. I have many hobbies. So buying this bolt kit, I think it was around $50 free shipping. Came out of California to where I live here in Vegas, and I got it right away within 3 or 4 days, I think it was. I thought it was a great deal for $50. It even has a little remote control here and a little LEDs for the eyes on the droid. And I'll show you a picture here when I get ready to install all this on the table. But I thought it was a great deal than sourcing all the parts. And like I said, a lot of times you can't buy just 1 or 2 nuts and bolts. You got to buy a whole pack. And I don't want to be out an arm and a leg and money and have all these extra parts I don't need. So I thought it was an awesome deal buying it pre-made like this. But we're going to get into the build now. I'm going to set up the camera at a different angle, and then I think I'm going to time lapse it, because I don't want to have you sit here and watch forever me putting every single nut and bolt in. We'll time lapse it, we'll get Buddy built, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. Yeah, he came out great. What do you think? Buddy! Buddy the pit droid. Yeah, he's fully posable. He's about 47 inches tall to the top of the antenna. And I got more weathering to do on him. He needs a little more damage, a little more rustic looking. But yeah, he came out amazing. And this little light kit that I have, it's got a remote. Yeah, as you can see, the lights are flashing different colors. You can change that to a single color, whatever you want, just by hitting a button. So it's very cool. I hot glued in the lens, and the little battery pack through the front is hot glued in, so if the batteries ever go dead, I can simply take out the front lens. It's hot glued in, like I say, and replace the batteries, put it back together. I did put a little bit of glue on the eyepiece where it glues to the dome of his head, and the parts underneath that go on that are glued, and everything else is simply bolted together, pressed together. Came out great, really love it. I got more pictures to show. But Droid Division over on Etsy, guys, check it out. Really cool files, and check them out on Facebook also. And like I say, I use Ziltech filament on this build on my, what was it? On my X1 Carbon. I printed almost everything on the X1 Carbon. I've done a few parts on my iFast right here on the dome. But yeah, it came out great. Loved it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, share. Until the next one, happy printing. Later.